Check this beauty out. This is a 2008 Honda Civic with nearly 302,000 miles on it. Now I know what you're thinking. A Civic with over 300,000 miles, that's not too uncommon. But what I think makes this a little bit unique is that this is my daughter's car. She's had it for like the last 8 years or so. She inherited it when she was in her early 20s from her grandmother. And let's just say maybe hasn't had the best of preventative maintenance and care over the last 8 years. I think that it was very well taken care of during the first half of its life, and I did my best to kind of keep up with it during these last 8 years, but you know, you kind of get to that stage where you try to help your kids figure it out and keep up with their maintenance on their own. But since this recently crossed the 300,000 milestone, and it's beyond that now, I really wanted to take an opportunity to look this car over really good and give it a good tune-up to the best of my ability, see if there's any major watch outs, because she continues to drive it every day and I would love to see it hit 400,000 miles. So let me give you a look at this car and show you what we're working with here. It's had a couple little boo-boos over the years. The front bumper is, you know, got that going on, and it's missing the Honda emblem there. The hood has a little bit of a buckle to it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you can see how the gap is wider here and then gets narrower as it gets closer to the window. I did replace these front headlights because they got so badly faded that it was really hard to see at night. Got some missing paint here and there, nothing too bad. So walk down the side, it's fairly straight, no rust or anything anywhere. It's held up really nice. There's a little bit of a dent here, not sure how that happened, but I think that's been there for a while. We got some chipped paint right here. It's faded just down to the primer. Maybe I'll get that touched up one of these days. Back here, the Civic logo is missing. Some hail dents here and there. Hasn't had a bath in a while. Come around to the other side over here. Pretty much the same situation, same condition. The wheels or the hubcaps, their paint is chipped off pretty bad. Maybe whenever I get around to the exterior, I'll touch up this bumper. Oh, the bumper had fallen off once upon a time, and I attached it forward with some of these gutter screws. Let's see, coming down this side, everything is in pretty good shape. There's no dents, just the hubcaps are dirty. Here's some more of that chipped paint back here near the trunk. That can probably be touched up if we wanted to put that kind of money into it. More dents. I think these are all hail. But it could be cleaned up pretty nice. Taking a look at the inside real quick. Starting the back here. There's a little bit of dirt in the seats. A lot of dog hair. She's got a couple dogs. And just stuff. You know, stuff is collected. Not too bad. The seat covers were put on a couple years ago because I think the front seats were pretty bad. But those look pretty nice. They match pretty well. The dash is in good shape. No issues there. The door handles are kind of nasty looking. And the floors aren't too bad. They just need to be vacuumed. So today I got a long list of things that I'm going to do to give it a tune-up. I just checked the oil a little bit ago, and well, there wasn't hardly any showing on the dipstick, which I don't know if the oil is leaking all the way to the ground, but you can definitely see down here that it's quite wet. I think it needs a valve cover gasket at least. But I'm going to change the coils for now and the spark plugs. I'm going to change the transmission fluid, the oil, the power steering fluid and brake fluid, and just kind of go over everything and see if there's anything else that needs attention. I'm also going to replace the rear shocks and all the filters, the air filter, the cabin air filter. Just kind of go over everything and see what else it needs, if anything. And before we do that though, let's take it for a little test drive. Starts up nice and quiet. She has had an issue recently where it didn't start for her when it was super cold. And one of the reasons why I want to do this today, because we're expecting some really cold weather coming here pretty soon. But no lights on the dash other than the tire pressure monitoring system, which I do want to check the tires while I have it. That might just be an issue with a low tire pressure, but it also could be a dead battery, not sure there. But no other check engine lights or warning lights or anything like that on the dash. It sounds okay, but there's a little bit of ticking sound, which could just be that it's low on oil, and we'll see if that clears up. The steering wheel has a little bit of play in it, or a little bit of wobble. See if we can see this in just a second here. There we go, a little bit of a shake. I'm not sure what that's related to. It could be something front end suspension, or it could be possibly just the low tire pressure in the tires. Check that out. Runs pretty good at low speed. I'm going to take it out here on the highway and see how it does. Try to get it up to about 70 or 75 and see how it feels. A little bit of hesitation. I hate doing this knowing that the oil is so low, but I don't know how long it's been that low. Well, traffic was a little heavy, wasn't able to get up to 75, got up to about 65, and it was riding pretty smooth. See if I can accelerate going up this hill here and see how it does. Still got a little pep to it. Got up to 70 there. It feels okay. She's got some life in her still. I'm going to start with the oil first, and since it's pretty low and warm, it shouldn't have any problem coming out. You can see how wet it is down here. That's concerning, and since I parked, I got a couple drips here on the floor. So I'm gonna take a close look at that, try to figure out where that might be coming from. That has me concerned. Just first thing we're taking a look at here. 18 millimeter socket, I think it's right here. I'm gonna loosen this up and get this old oil out, what's left of it. Shouldn't take long. It's gonna be hot. Well, there was a little bit in there. It's nasty looking. I think it's been a while, and it seemed quite low. It's convenient on these that the filter is right here next to the drain pan. While I wait for all that oil to dribble out, I'm going to change this. Oh wow, did you see that? I'm going to change this cabin air filter, which probably hasn't been done in years. I went ahead and very precisely unloaded the glove box here, and I will just drop that down. Oh, there goes whatever that was, some jelly or something. Let's see here. I think there's just a couple clips on the sides. We'll pull this out. Oh, that actually isn't too bad. Better than I expected. We'll just get that swapped out. That's an easy one. At least she'll be breathing clean air on the inside now. Found this in the glove box. We'll have to get this installed whenever we do some exterior body work. Put in the new Wix filter and the oil drain bolt. Don't have it filled up with oil yet, but man, look how wet it is under here. That's concerning. When we look a little closer, get up underneath, you can really see, like back there, there's a lot of oil. And then over here, there's a ton. Over here, it's close to dripping. Let's see if I can get up under here. Yeah, I mean, just look how wet that is. I don't know what the source is, where it's originating from. I'm hoping that it might just be a valve cover gasket because that looks really wet on top. Hopefully it's just, that's just making its way down. But yeah, I don't know if we're going to get to 400,000 miles. Here's that view from up above. Pretty wet. Lots of oil. I'm using this Mobile Super 5W20 synthetic blend. It says it's good up to 5,000 miles. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it'll last in the engine for 5,000 miles as much as it looks like we're leaking. These little engines just take about 4 quarts. Got a little bit out of order on my list here. So I've got oil and filter completed, cabin air filter check. Let's move on to the spark plugs and coils. Changing out these coils and spark plugs couldn't be easier. It's just a 10 millimeter holding on that coil, and then you just use a screwdriver. There's a little clip holding it in. There it goes. And pull that out. And it's actually really clean in there. These do look pretty brown. I don't know. Well, it's actually a lot more brown than this one was. We'll see what the spark plug looks like. The first spark plug looked okay. It was just worn out like everything else on this car. Yeah, they're dirty and corroded. Just a little worn out. They both look pretty old. I probably changed these a long time ago. Coincidentally, I'm putting the same brand and same everything back in. These Denso Platinum, I don't know, TT? Even though the engines are tiny and the space is pretty confined, these little Civics are pretty easy to work on. And the parts are super cheap. For this entire tune-up, I spent less than $200 on Rock Auto. And I'm going to be changing all the fluids, all the filters, rear shocks, quite a few things. And I did look up a price on this valve cover gasket. It looks like they run about $15 or so. So, I mean, I don't think that's too time consuming to get that replaced. That's something that I'll try to get to here in the next couple months or so. Maybe sooner, depending on how quickly this oil leaks out. Ooh, that one's dirty. That one's very dirty. The other two were pretty clean. Wow. It's very black down there. Let's see how this one looks. Oh, that one looks better. This one here is super dirty. Oh, it's not tight in there at all. Feels like it's just sitting in there. It's still functioning, I guess. Maybe it was just so loose that it had some kind of blow-by. I'm not really sure. All those coils and plugs are replaced. Let's see if we can get in here and change the air filter. It's so easy. Yeah, that was dirty. Man, these cars are just so easy to work on. It took like 5 seconds. I might have spoke too soon about this being so easy to work on, so the next thing I was trying to get to was the PCV valve. This is the old one here, and the new one there. It was way down in this corner of the engine here, really hard to get to. So here's what the new one sounds like. And here's what the old one sounds like. I mean, there's not much going on there with the old one, so I'm glad I replaced this thing. Also, these can be a possible failure point for allowing the right amount of circulation inside the top of the engine there, which could have led to this valve cover gasket failing. So I'm glad we got this repaired or replaced, and that'll hopefully go a long way towards getting the oil to stop leaking. We'll see. That PCV valve gave me all kinds of trouble. I must have dropped it like, I don't know, I lost count, 17 times trying to get it put back in the car. Dropped it and couldn't find it several times. So had lunch, was able to get it back together. So that's all in place now. And now I'm changing the transmission fluid, which looks like it's going to be pretty easy here. I'm about to make a mess. Oh, there it goes. Ooh, that's brown. A little bit of metal shavings there. It doesn't look too terribly bad. A lot of fluid coming out of there though, that's a good sign. It wasn't low. Hopefully I don't overfill my pan. I'm adding about 2.5 quarts of this mobile multi-vehicle automatic transmission fluid. This is the one that was specified for the Civic. I've got this weird funnel that I think I bought maybe for transmission fluid, but I don't think I ever used it. And it's a measuring funnel, which is kind of cool, but it has a long hose that's able to get down to that filling hole for the transmission. And it fills slowly so that I don't overfill or make a mess down there. Now for brake fluid and power steering fluid, I'm going to use the same method here. This isn't the most efficient or effective way to change either of these fluids, but I'm taking an old turkey baster and sucking out as much fluid as I can. And you can see how dark that power steering fluid is. And then I'll fill it back up and cycle it through, turn the wheel back and forth, maybe drive it a little bit, and then do it again. Do the same process again, use the turkey baster. Pull out as much fluid as I can, fill it back up, and do that just a couple times until it should clear up quite a bit after the first couple of cycles. And it's not going to get everything out. It's not a full flush, but we'll get a lot of fresh fluid in there and clean out the old stuff. Well, I successfully completed my entire list. Got everything checked off, and I think she's running a little bit better. Sounds a little bit better. Still sounds like a sewing machine. Got a tick there, but it seems to be riding better. Seems to be accelerating better. Had a little bit of extra time and was able to wipe things down on the inside, get things vacuumed out a little bit, and ran her through the car wash. Didn't have enough time to wash at home, and my hose was frozen, so went through the car wash, and this is what she looks like. Not too bad for 302,000 miles. I think there's still more work to be done though. We'll call this episode 1. Maybe in the next one we'll check out that valve cover gasket. Got to touch up some paint, get that Civic logo back on there. I did change those rear struts and they feel a lot better, so maybe, or shocks rather, so maybe I need some front ones. But like I said at the beginning, this is my daughter's car. Hopefully she wants to keep it for many years to come, and we'll see how many more episodes we can get out of this nice little Civic. So thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any comments or suggestions, and I'll see you soon.